have viral diseases ever been eradicated? The simple answer is yes. It's a difficult thing to eradicate a virus, but it has been done before in the past. So it gives us hope that it can be done again for the other viruses that actually we fight, we grapple with every day. We know that eradication is the reduction of an infectious disease. The prevalence reduces in the global host. It means like worldwide, it reduces to actually zero, meaning you no longer get cases of smallpox anywhere in the world today, and it means that smallpox actually has been eradicated, except probably in 1 or 2 labs protected under very strict conditions. But otherwise, much was done to ensure that smallpox be eradicated, and it was eradicated. Elimination is where it's really largely reduced, yes, to almost zero, but you get a few pockets of infection ever so often. And polio is one of the illnesses that we think that one day will be eradicated. It has been eliminated in many parts of the world. And so it's one disease that we know that one day actually can be like smallpox. There's another disease called rinderpest that affects animals, cows, that is related to what we today know as the measles virus. This also is a disease that has since been eradicated. Now, what is the difference between the common cold, okay, what we normally call the common cold, and flu? So there are many things that cause the common cold, many different viruses, okay? Usually the patient will present with a stuffy nose, running nose, and they are coughing, sneezing. Sometimes there's a bit of a sore throat as well, and maybe a bit of weakness. But influenza is one of the things that will also affect the upper respiratory airways, except it is a specific virus that is usually more severe than the other viruses that will cause the common cold. So it means that there will be joint pains, there will be body aches, maybe headaches. The fevers are a little bit higher than what you see in the common cold. And sometimes people actually get off work because they are quite sick with the influenza. And the thing with the influenza is that it has different strains. There's a vaccine against influenza, but because it keeps changing, it keeps mutating so often, sometimes you get what are called periodic pandemics, because if it keeps changing and then the vaccine that has been given against it is different from what you are now getting, it means that the virus will not respond. So there are certain words that you may need to learn. Antigenic drift, okay? It means that the virus is just changing, and I mean, it's like a moving target. It's difficult for, if you have a gun and you are trying to actually hit a target and it keeps on moving, you know, you are bound to miss. Okay, and then also another term called reassortment or antigenic shift. This is the mixing of genes between various strains, and so you have maybe 2 or 3 strains of the virus, and then when the genes mix, you end up with a new virus, a new mutation. And so this is what now becomes very difficult to eradicate, because you're having to now use something that will not work. There's also another term called adaptative mutation, where a virus that typically affects maybe birds or pigs changes so that now it can affect humans. And this is what is being talked about concerning the coronavirus. Coronaviruses have always affected humans, but usually it's the mild ones. And when you have that adaptative mutation, there are some that affects animals as well. So when you have that adaptative mutation, you find that now you get a severe form. And probably this is what we are seeing, even as I talk today. Now, what is the difference between prions and viruses? Okay, so a prion really is a small acellular protein. So it's just protein that becomes disorganized and infectious. While a virus, we've talked about it already, that there's genetic material as well as protein. We know that viruses will have DNA or RNA covered in the protein coat, but the prion is just the protein, the single protein itself. And we also know that viruses cause a wide array of illnesses. So plants can be diseased, animals, fungi, okay, protozoa, and bacteria, everybody, including humans. But with prions mainly, they will cause brain diseases. They will go to the brain and cause illnesses in humans and in animals. There's a disease called mad cow disease, and another disease called Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. If somebody dies from Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease and you check their brain, it looks like a sponge. There are so many spaces in between the brain. You have a brain that has shrunk, and yet it has so much space in there because the Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease has eaten away and has disturbed the way the brain functions. Kuru is another disease that happens in people that are cannibals. They eat other humans and they get infected in that manner.